isn't that just a bit of nostalgia from F1 2021? If you guys were around, Typhoons by Royal Blood was the beginning of something great. What a fantastic song to start us off. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second round of the AUSF1 Racing League today. We have Great Britain, or Silverstone, as it's better well known. It has 4 straight modes today. There is a ton to go through. 4 straight modes. Expect 26 laps of absolute battery management chaos, because battery management around here is absolutely crucial, as we've explained many, many times. There are 18 corners around this circuit, and tyres will absolutely be a factor. Before we get into the racing today, I have the highlights package from the round 1, which was somewhat chaotic, but as we expected, Gregory Prisbald to take the lead and the win. Enjoy the highlights package, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you just after this. The Barcelona Grand Prix, the first round is underway as we head towards the first corner of the circuit. GP getting the start we expected. Almaco to follow, and here comes Aussie 2K Goat to follow around the outside, potentially looking on Almaco. There's collision in the background. Who is that? GLX Cam. And unfortunately, a massive incident in the back there between Sam and GLX Cam immediately. I think the safety car might come out. Instead, he's finished with this. He doesn't want another say. Striker goes for the move on Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't even bother to try and defend it, but Phoenix looks like he's going to try and go up the inside if he can. Striker defends. Good defense at the moment. Good battling. Striker's got to be careful, though. He's got to be very low on battery. Very, very wide, and I just don't know what's happened there at the background. It looks like maybe Phoenix might have just gotten in the dirty air. Which is not exactly what you want to see. Oh, big moment there from Phoenix. Good save. Good save from Phoenix. Well held, young man. Fantastic. It's between the drivers. However, Luke a lot closer this time than Mitch Riley. A little bit more battery to use, and Mitch will eat Luke's dust into turn 1 unless tyres have something to say about him, and they don't. So the harvesting begins, and the yo-yo racing begins here in Spain. We expected this, but it's going to be very much up to these two to have a fair battle here. As side by side they go into turn 4. That's a brave move around the outside if you can do it. Mitch Riley trying to make the move. It is. What a move. Fantastic up the inside, going defensive into the hairpin. Luke can't do anything about it. At the moment, looks like Mitch has gone wide, actually. Hold on, Mitch has gone wide. So that is his race going out the window on those mediums at the moment. This is just not going well for Mitch. He couldn't maintain the battery. He couldn't maintain the position with Luke. And unfortunately, he's gone wide. Right where we expect it as well, because that corner does catch a lot of people out. You've got to be really, really careful. Wait, who's... Oh my God, Luke! What's happened to Luke? He's gone off. What's happened to Luke? There's a puncture left front. What has happened to that Audi? I cannot believe it. Luke's race is completely unraveled. I reckon he's had a puncture going into that 4th corner. Oh, that Audi's got no turn-in whatsoever. Absolutely interesting for Greg now. As the Audi comes into the pit lane, stricken Audi. No, he's hit the wall. He's out of the Grand Prix. Luke has hit the wall and he's out of the Grand Prix. Are we going to see a full-course safety car? We might. That might be absolutely essential to this race. Luke couldn't turn in, and unfortunately he's hit the wall on the outside of the pit lane. I cannot believe what I've just seen. Luke had the strategy absolutely called. Disaster. Absolute disaster for Audi. What's going on here? Because Dan the Racer on 15-lap-old hards. I mean, we saw the 17-lap-old hards completely combust. So maybe there is tyre concerns towards the end of this Grand Prix. Greg crosses the line. Lap 33 of 33. Led every single lap. Fantastic. Good racing overall. So now at the end of all of this, we now have GP in the lead of the championship so far, with Almaco second and Aussie 2K GOAT to follow. Look out for Silverstone starting up next week. Well, there you have it. That is the highlights from last week's session, where we've just got word that we're going straight in. So we're going green, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into qualifying. Very, very excited ahead of this one. We have a ton of drivers out on the field today, 18 drivers, most of which you will recognize from last season. I do wonder if my mic is a little bit too loud. I might just quickly adjust that. It's going to go black screen shortly here. 0.9 should be good. All right, sweet. I'm trying out some different mic settings to see if we can adjust for that kind of SE sound. But anyway, let's get into short qualifying here at Silverstone. What are we going to say about this circuit? This circuit has potential to be probably one of the most dangerous circuits on the calendar in terms of, battery management. When it comes to danger versus reward here, it's going to be significant. You're going to have to think about your tyre strategy. You're going to have to think about your energy strategy. And for those that are new to Formula 1 in 2026, the batteries are significantly more powerful, but they put out a lot more energy over a shorter amount of time. So managing your battery is absolutely essential. And Silverstone, being the circuit that it is, a very high speed, very fast circuit, which with not too many braking zones, to be perfectly honest, not too many hard braking zones, not too many slow speed corners where you can recharge that battery and bring it back up. It's very difficult to maintain your battery levels and maintain charge. And I think something you're going to see quite often here is going to be through Maggots and Beckett's specifically, you're going to see the drivers lifting all the way off the throttle, if not 30%. And that's to bring the cars back into that recharge state. So they won't be braking as they usually do through that section. But let's get into qualifying here. We're going to bring up first the tyre. Lap data will bring up, and track map, of course, for you guys as well. You guys definitely prefer that. Having a look out on pit lane at the moment, it does look like we could have the potential of weather. If I can get a weather report in there, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Look like Mitch Riley might be the first out. He's going to be in the Mercedes. You'll see him coming out of the picture there. A McLaren of Almaco as well, preparing to go out. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, qualifying well and truly underway. 17 minutes on the board for these drivers to get their best laps in. Here we go. Very, very excited for this one. And like I was saying, it does kind of look like we may have weather issues. As out of the pit lane comes Mitch Riley. Let's jump on with him. So what can we talk about this Silverstone circuit? It's extremely fast. And like I was saying, it's going to be all about recharge and generating battery. Straight modes as well. 4 straight mode zones. You'll see those in the bottom right there. The purple zones is your straight modes. Those checkered ones does mean that that's only straight mode active during dry sessions. If it goes intermediate to wet qualifying session or race, we will see that change to a straight line mode only with the front wing opening. So Mitch Riley will be the first of the drivers out there to combat this circuit. I don't actually think we need a full track map, to be honest. It doesn't really make any sense. So through Maggots and Beckett's for the first time, the Mercedes will go. And let's just see what can happen here. This is going to be very, very interesting to see what the drivers do around this. So I'm expecting the 2 Ferraris to be at the top of the pack. So here we go. Mitch Riley to start us off. Don't really know how loud it's going to be, but whatever. Enjoy the sound of Formula 1 as we start the first flying lap. Let's jump on board with Mitch Riley through the first sector. So straight mode active as we head down towards turn 1. It's a flat out now. Downshift. I mean, that's new. We're downshifting into turn 1. Turn 2 negotiated, down into turn 3. Third gear, he's going to run it all the way over to the right-hand side to swing it to the left and bring that car as straight as possible. Back on the battery as we head down the Hangar Straight, I believe this one is. Or the Hamilton Straight, one of the 2. Straight mode active and deactivated now as we head down in towards the horseshoe, which is what I like to call it. Flat out yet again. Here we go. Straight mode active as we head towards Cops. What used to be one of the fastest corners in F1 still is pretty damn quick, but it's very easy. Used to be a massive challenge for these drivers, and now not so much. Maggots and Beckett's now, and this is what I was talking about. You're going to see the lifting and the coasting to get the car across, and there we go. A few of the drivers just jumping out of the way. The McLaren there. Flat out now. Battery depleted. So it's all on the motor to get the job done. As we head into the braking zone. The last sector here. Flick it left and then flick it right. And get on the power as soon as you dare. What's it going to be? What is the time that they're all chasing? Straight mode across the line. 129.365 is now the time they're chasing. Aussie 2K Goat is going to be the next one across the line to set a time, lighting those rears up on fire as he heads across the line. What's it going to be? A 131.6. So I get a feeling that was an out lap. Either that or it was invalid. I think it was invalid because he didn't actually end up setting a lap. Down the race with a 131.4 to follow. Elmaco sets an early pace as well. 128.43 is the one to chase. Mr. T straight into the pits. Striker on his lap as well. Jazz Blue Cat setting it up. Let's see what Striker can do with a little bit of a toe as well. That's going to be helpful to the line. A little bit of a snap. 129, that pulls him up all the way to second place. 2-1-2. Pretty close between that top 2, 3, and 4. That's great. That's really good to see. Sector 1 yellow flags. Just getting out of the way there, I think, is Jazz Blue Cat. As GP, there's the time we were expecting. So, a 126.7 is the time they are all now chasing. Alarms comes in. I've been told that's Oscar. So, I'm going to either go by Oscar or Alarms. Sam out there as well. Mr. T retires from the session. And that is simply because he's received the qualifying ban. I did receive information of that, and I did forget to mention that he has received the qualifying ban after his shenanigans in the first Grand Prix of the week. Dry and dry is the report from the weather, so we're not going to get any wet racing anytime soon, which honestly I've done a few wet races in 26, and it's honestly pretty damn boring. You don't really get any energy deployment. You can't really do anything. It's a bit annoying. Sam on his lap at the moment through Maggots and Beckett's. What can he do? Looks like he's charging and doing what he can. I think Alarms is just biding his time here. As the straight mode slams shut. And he jumps straight into the pits. So, interesting decision. Sam opting not to go for the lap. And yes, this is a 60-kilometer pit limiter. So, it is a very slow pit limit here. And I get the feeling that it's going to be a little bit of an interesting qualifying here. The Ferrari of GP finally coming into the pits. And D Legend, that's a name I haven't seen before. He's up in a P5 at the moment. So good showing from the Alpine here. P5 and 8 at the moment as it currently stands during qualifying. Mars 360 Light. He's in the Aston Martin at the moment. He was on the mediums. I don't know if he meant to do that. Bit of an interesting decision there. Looks like D Legend might be going for another lap. He is. He's currently 4/10 up on his pass time here. So through sector 2 he goes. If anybody in the chat can tell me if the mic sounds good or if it's too loud on the game, please let me know. I'll adjust as necessary. Again, this next 2 weeks is just figuring out the settings and figuring out what sounds best. It's very wide there. Elmaco doesn't look like he has invalidated just yet. Sorry, D Legend, not Elmaco. So again, you're just seeing the cars slow down. Who was that who jumped position? I think that was Dan the Racer potentially. Currently 2/10 up, so that would put D Legend well into P4 contention right now. The Alpine looking pretty speedy out there. Decides against boxing. So he's going to continue the lap and finish it. Someone was around there in the background. Who was that? Disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. Phoenix as a disaster as P4 for D Legend. What has happened to Phoenix there? I don't really understand. He was going backwards on the circuit, allegedly. I think he spun out at the final corner, and then the games immediately disqualified him as Daniel Starr jumps to 10th. So that's a good lap from him. Let's see what El Mako can do on his out lap now, but I think I'm gonna down the volume ever so slightly. I think it's just a little bit too loud on the onboard. So I'm just gonna drop that a little bit, because here we go. So El Mako, he's chasing a 126. He's got to find 2 seconds out there. Straight mode active as we head across the line to start the lap. 9 minutes left in the session. Flat out through turn 1 and turn 2. Not a problem on these cars. Not a problem in most cars, to be perfectly honest. Maybe the GT3 is having a little bit of an issue through there, but El Mako navigating pretty well here. Again, straight mode active. Heading down the main straight. The Hamilton straight, I believe it is. Sector 1, he's down by 123 milliseconds here, so not his fastest time, but he's still pushing on. Maybe he's going to change it up with the battery strategy a little bit. GLX Cam rushing up to P3. That's a good position for the Mercedes. And Mako does back out of it. So Cam, 1.3 seconds up on that last lap. Fantastic. That is a slide and a half from him, though. He's going to be careful he doesn't do that during the race. Aussie 2K, go. What can you do? Out of Maggots and Beckett's. And down the hangar straight. I believe that's the hangar straight. I'm just going to fact check myself here. What can he do? To the line. Aussie 2K go on board here. 8 minutes left. 3rd place. That's a phenomenal showing from Aussie 2K go. So really close in that top 2 to 7 at the moment. Look at that. Fantastic. Less than about a second separating all those guys. That's really good to see. So really, really cool lap times at the moment. Striker staying in position at the moment. I think he's on a lap as well. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Possible improvement here, but the person we're going to be looking for is Alarms, without doubt. He's going to be the person that is going to be fighting for that P1 position with GP. The 2 Ferraris are genuinely esports drivers, so we expect them to be at the top without doubt, but we also expect chaos from them. We're not expecting them to play clean with each other, so we'll see what they can do. Strikers to the line, what can you do? Bit of a slide to the rear. Very wide out there at the moment. That looks like a spin. Who's that? That's the other Williams. That's Dirty Orange. He's had a moment in the background. In the foreground there as he was coming across the line. I'm just trying to understand what's happened there. I think he's had a bit of a torque surge, maybe? Coming across the line, he's just going to jump out of the way. I think, yeah, Alarm starts his lap. So here we go. What can he do? Turn 3. Flicks it to the right. And watch, he'll flick it to the left to get to the apex as quick as possible. Back on the power. What's it going to be across the first sector timing? Straight mode active. How's he going to go? 27.4 is the time for that first sector. I'm pretty sure that's purple. It's going to be very close with GP now. The 2 Ferraris are going to be battling for pole position here. I'll just check out what GP's doing. Into the first sector he goes. Let's jump back on board with Alarms. Snow, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream. Please let me know. I've got no comms from anyone at the moment if the audio's a bit too loud, if my mic's too loud or anything. As Quiet Kate jumps to 5th place in the Cadillac. 2 Cadillacs at the moment, really doing well. Apologies, just 1. Straight mode active for Alarms. What can he do? 1:03. He's chasing the time. Battery depleted. Here we go. Into the final corners. Alarms again. He's going to be the one to fight for that pole position. Clips the curb on the inside. What's it going to be across the line with 5 minutes remaining? Second. And by a significant margin. Not even close to the likes of GP, who's just improving at the moment. 43 seconds up on his last time. That is an incredible lap from GP. I think we're going to see even faster here as he negotiates Stowe into the chicane, the left-right complex before the long right hand of the final corner of the circuit. What's it going to be? A 1:26.3. Nobody's going to beat that. I mean, nobody's going to beat that. That is unbelievably quick around this circuit. Unbelievably quick. What can Cam do? He's in the pits. Quiet Cake is second down, so he's probably on his boxing lap. D-Legend currently 4 milliseconds down in his previous time. Straight mode active. Into Cops we go. He goes very wide. Surely that's an invalidation. I'm just going to double check. No, it's not. So we'll see what he can do through here. Welcome, Damo. Welcome, welcome. So down the straight, he's going to get a little bit of a tow here. So he's a 10th and a half up on his previous time, which would put him into P6 comfortably. If he can keep it up, let's jump on board. Final few corners. He's backed out of it. D-Legend has backed out of it. I wonder if he's going to try and build battery here. He is. So that's another thing with these cars you can do. You can build battery and whatnot, but yeah, I think he's just backing out of that entirely. So D-Legend, he thought about going across the line, setting that time, but I think he's just decided against it. Well, let's see what Mitch Riley can do at the moment. 5 tenths down, so not exactly speedy. I lied. 2.5 tenths up, almost 3. Through Stowe, down the hill, and how's it going to look for him? He's going to be looking to improve this by at least a place or two. He wouldn't be happy with P10 at the moment. Would Mitch Riley. Jumping on board with the Mercedes across the line. What's it going to do? A 1:29.532. So doesn't improve there. I think he did back out right at the last micket there. Al Mako to start his lap. Getting pretty damn wide there. That was a little bit close for comfort. So again, I don't think Almaco is going to get close to alarms, but he's still holding the top at the moment. I really don't know how to answer that, Damo. I do not know how to answer that whatsoever. That is a very interesting question. At the moment, Almaco is up on his previous time. Pretty much just trying to defend that P3 at the moment is what he's trying to do here. So he's not really thinking about pole and second place. He's more considering the other position of third. And he was really sideways there. GP retiring. So Gregory Prisball is happy where he is. He's confident that he's got that pole position. I wonder if Oscar is also going to retire here. But Almaco is slightly up on his time at the moment. So we'll see how he goes through Stowe. The fast right-hander. Alarms. So they're confident. They're comfortable and they're confident in their position here. So Oscar and Gregory Prisball both retiring. They're done. They're confident for the last 1 minute. As Almaco improves his time of 1:28.2 is now the time that the rest of these guys have to chase. Aussie 2K Goat, what a save. That was phenomenal. What a save in qualifying. That was nuts. The car going absolutely sideways into that turn, that fast left-hander. And Aussie 2K Goat will be thanking his lucky stars that didn't go around, because he might have enough time to get another lap in. Cam sideways as well. The cars are starting to get a little bit skirty out there. 4 tenths down. What can Sam do? Sam's up by a little bit here. Sector 3 yellow flags is just going to continue popping up, unfortunately. That's just people getting out the way. The game still doesn't know how to identify people getting out of the way of people. Just keeping an eye on that. He's 4 seconds down. No point. GLX Cam, what can you do? 5/10 down. That is not ideal. Mitch Riley, P11. That is an absolute disaster for the Mercedes driver. 5th and 11th at the moment for Mercedes. That's not where they want to be for the constructors at the moment. Who's going fast out here? Let's see. Legend's in. He's done. Striker's up a little bit. It's going to be very close between the top, like, 3 to 11, I think. What can Striker do? Across the line. Improves to P6. That's good for him. Blue Cat, 16 seconds down, unfortunately. Daniel, also down on his time. Is Striker in striking distance? I wouldn't know how to answer that, to be perfectly honest. Daniel forgets his run. What can the Honda Aston Martin do? Can it maybe be better than it is in real life? Apologies, Julo, that's a bit of slander. But let's see. Can Julo's goat do well? That is the question across the line. No improvement. What can Dirty Orange do? Can he improve? He does. P9. That's a fantastic improvement. And Dan the Racer as well improving. What can Frizzy do? Cross the line. Can't improve. So that's pretty much everyone done now. And that is qualifying done and dusted. Dunno with the Prime subscription. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream, mate. Well done. Solid racing. Or solid qualifying. And El Mako finds himself in P3. So it's going to be, to start us off, GP, Alarms, El Mako on the top 3 positions. This is going to be very, very interesting. I mean, wow. Look at the gap. I mean, I was honestly expecting a little bit closer there between the 2 Ferraris. But you know what? Who knows what happens in the race. The gap between P4 and P7, look how tight that is. That is insane. Less than a second separating the top 11 to 3. That is nuts. Just being handed 300k, Mr. 300k. That's it, mate. That is it. Paying myself right now. Fair enough. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, eh? This is going to be interesting. I mean, I'm very excited for the race. I'm honestly pretty damn excited for this race. I mean, do we have any predictions? What are we thinking? No predictions so far. That's all good. But it does look like a very sunny Silverstone right now, so I don't think we're going to get any rain. Which is a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. The Hamilton Straight is the main one. The Hangar Straight is that back one. And the Wellington. That's the Wellington Straight. All right, let me apologize immediately for that. But we'll just wait for the racing to start here. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here. I think the Ferraris again. Lags. Yes. That's part of commentating, mate. Any news on the audio quality? Is it all right? Oz2K Goat to spin. GLX Cam to DNF. Here we go. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And it's pedal to the metal. Here we go, down towards turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? The Ferrari drivers are off to a great start here. El Mako sleeps in behind to start us off down the front straight. There's a bit of chaos in the background. Here we go, jump on board. The 2 Ferraris getting a little bit spicy in the background here. Look out. Oh, there's a spinner in the back. Who's that? That's, I think that was Dan the Racer, just getting a little bit tagged there in the background. So a bit of chaos in the back as we expected off the start here. Here we go, Alarms. What can you do down towards turn 1? Sorry, not turn 1. Sector 2. D-Legend and Mitch Riley already getting within it. GLX Cam, bit of chaos in the background here. Bit of a touch as well. Look out. It's getting feisty. This is what we expected. The battery management. It's going to be crucial around here, so look out. Here we go into cops. What can happen? The battery. The deployment. Nothing. That's the answer. However, Alarms ever closer this time into Maggots and Beckett's. War Machine, I think, has had a bit of a spin in the background. So are the Ferrari drivers going to play nice with each other, or are they going to gun away from the field? As Mr. T and Freeze getting all kinds of feisty in the background there. I'll just jump on board with that if I can. Look at this, 3 wide. I cannot believe it. 3 wide into Stowe. Side by side, Freeze and Phoenix. Got a fantastic look at this from Mr. T. That's a moment. That's absolutely unbelievable from Mr. T. I would be very surprised if he hasn't gotten away with wing damage there. That was not exactly a move I'd expect him to make. Let's jump on board with Legend here. He's closer than ever to GLX Cam. I'm expecting this race to be chaos. Mr. T Gaming does get a penalty to his name. And, I mean, it just continues to show, unfortunately. But Al Mako hasn't really let the Ferraris run away there. Mr. Quiet Cake in the back. I think someone's had a spin. Might be, yeah, Quiet Cake in the background, unfortunately. But Cam, the 2 Mercedes, not really nip and tuck here, but D Legend, Mitch Riley, fighting it out for that P7 position at the moment. Let's see if something can happen here. Battery being deployed. Mitch Riley thinks about the move, thinks against it. Lives to fight another day. Jazz Blue Cat in the background, just getting past there. Look at this. The battery, I'm telling you, the battery management is going to be absolutely crucial for this Grand Prix. Down the race are running very, very wide there. 26 laps. Oh, that's a spin in the background. Jazz Blue Cat all the way around in Maggots and Beckett's. Got to be really careful on the rejoin. That's Phoenix going straight into him. What is going on there? So chaos in the back at the moment, but we expect nothing less. I think Alarms might be picking up the pace a little bit and trying to catch GP. We'll jump on board with that if it gets to that point. But GLX Cam, and I think Cam is into the pits. Or something's happened. But Cam was around in the background there, I think. We'll jump on board with him. Yeah, he's around. So he's had a bit of a moment in the back. There's Cam. And the 2 Ferraris here. This is going to be very interesting. I think they're just dragging each other along at this point. Yeah, a bit of a yikes. I agree, Dono. I really agree. That's not what we want to see at all. Striker is also very close at the moment, so I'll keep an eye on that. But I think the Ferraris are going to be the ones to watch for this Grand Prix. We expected this coming into this weekend. Sorry, into this Monday night. We expected this into this night. And they're closer than ever, so the question is, when are they going to strike? And this race can really change in the blink of an eye. And I'm not joking when I say that, as Daniel ever closer to Mars. As Phoenix gets another penalty. Unfortunately, just continuing the legacy, apparently. Here we go. Daniel trying to go around the outside of Mars. Thought about it. No, he is going around the outside. Mars has absolutely nothing to say against that. Fantastic move there from Mr. Daniel. What is Mitch Riley doing here? Getting past D-Legend is the answer. So a bit of battery management chaos. This is what we expected, but these drivers, as I was alerted to the fact, a few of them actually didn't really know what they were doing in Barcelona. They were figuring it out as they went. And, well, we know how that went. We definitely know how that went. There were a few tricky moments for the drivers to kind of negotiate. As GLX Cam gets a penalty to his name. His penalties are starting to stack up here. Legend gets past. Mitch Riley tries to say no. So, Mitch has the inside, blocks off the Legend. A good defensive move. Pass and repass. We expected this. Battery management. What can D-Legend do? I don't even think he was deploying there. I think Mitch is just out of battery. Isn't it cops? And you can just see in the background as well, the Audi having a bit of a battle, and I'll jump on board here with him. To Maggots and Beckett's we go. Anything happening as of yet? Not yet. Running a little bit wide there, and you'll see the boost button will get engaged here. Maybe not. Mars has a little bit more battery to work with. Look at this. Mars has a good battery strategy here, and he's not letting Daniel pass that easy. Again, tyres are going to come into consideration here. As D-Legend and Mitch, I think this is going to be a battle that's going to go on for a while. I think we'll just stay on board with this, honestly. That's fantastic. What happened there with the camera? Apologies there. Shoddy camera work from me. As D-Legend deploys a little bit more, maybe looking for the inside line. Tries to get it. Thinks better of it. Backs out. Sim's been packed away for too long. It's honestly pretty good. I mean, I enjoy this, like, pass and repass. I don't enjoy it in real life, but it's actually very fun in the game. You have to manage everything, so makes it very interesting. Welcome to the Streamzilla. As Mars and Daniel just going at it again. The different lines you can see, the hard tire versus the medium. And for those that are new to F1, of course, I'm going to say this every single time. Soft, medium, hard. Soft being the red walled tires, mediums being the yellows, and the hards are the white walled tires. Is D-Legend going to go for a move here? He is. He deploys the battery. He's decided, I'm over it. I want to get past. And I want to deploy absolutely everything here. And Mitch is going to have a little bit more for the main back straight here, and you'll see that as he'll start deploying. So the boost getting activated, nothing happening there, but Mars and Daniel, again, the rear light flashing, so he's out of battery. And Daniel swoops. Gets swooped on, apologies. There's Dirty Orange in the background as well. Getting past Dan the Racer. Sorry, not Dan the Racer. Getting past War Machine. These names are very difficult. I might have to kind of come up with my own names and nickname all of them on Steam. But I'm trying to keep up the best I can. So I think Mitch Riley just kind of getting away at the moment a little bit from D-Legend if he can. But he's just trying to bring himself back into it. And you'll notice when you start activating battery and yo-yoing, you'll actually bring each other all the way back into the fight. Because you just basically toe, untoe, deploy, no deploy. And when people aren't fighting, they're not deploying. They're not thinking about it. Unless you're GP and alarms, of course, because they're 8 seconds ahead of the pack, which is unbelievable to say. But Mitch, is he thinking about a move? No. Thinks against it. And again, I think these Ferraris are just trying to stick away, get away from the teams. As D-Legend ran a little bit wide there, so that might be a penalty coming his way if he does that again. Sam is getting really close. I might just jump on board with him. He's thinking about a move here on Aussie 2K Goat. I think he was thinking about a lineup there and just thought against it. How good does that Red Bull sound? That Red Bull Ford motor sounds so good. Daniel Starr has been passed twice, so has something happened there in the background? I think something has. There has been a bit of a moment. So Mars and Dan the Racer getting in with it. Locking up. That's close. That's really close between these drivers at the moment. I'm keeping an eye on that Delta, don't you worry. Straight mode active, so the pit window's open for that two-stop strategy on the medium, but I doubt anyone's going to go for that, to be perfectly honest. So, actually, we'll get up the tyre Delta. I think that's an important bit of information to look at. Striker is really close and going for a move there on Sammy, maybe thinking about it up the inside. The V-carb holds the inside, but then turns into the outside here. But then turns to the inside again. So this circuit really pays dividends for a good racing. Striker maybe considering a move here into the cops, but yeah, thinks against it. D-Legend around the outside of Mitch Riley. So again, repass. Pass and repass. Yo-yo racing. We expected this. Dan the Racer up the inside of Daniel. Running wide though, so that could leave an opportunity there for Dan the Racer to be overtaken, and does get overtaken. It's a bit of a moment there, resulting in a moment. And I wonder if Dan has damage, because that car looks like it's all over the place. As Aussie 2K Goat does get overtaken by Sam. Striker as well is lining up the move. Just building that battery, and you can see that because D-Legend and Mitch Riley have been yo-yoing and bringing each other back into this fight, they're slowly climbing back up. As Striker Thought about a move up the inside there of Aussie, but thought against it. I'm just waiting for that Ferrari to get a little bit closer to each other. The Ferraris need to get closer to each other for me to switch to them, to be honest. I know what they're doing. They're just stringing each other along. They're not fighting. They're being boring. They're being boring esports players. Look at this. It was almost 3 wide. Down the Wellington there. You can see, yeah, they're just towing each other along, not really thinking about strategy here. Sorry, not thinking about fighting. They're just towing each other along, like I was saying. So, unfortunately, I don't really think we're going to get much of a battle at the front. Listen to the liftoff. Striker, though, is ever closer to 2K. Through Maggots and Beckett's, and Striker right on the back because 2K didn't really get that right there, so Striker's going to have the opportunity. They're both out of battery, but I think Aussie might have a little bit more. It's a little bit more juice in the box to work with. War Machine, though, very close here to Dirty Orange. Well, let's have a good racing at the moment. D-Legend, though, I mean, this little train that we're seeing is not surprising. But everybody's just kind of biding their time, building up their tyre temps, building up their battery, building up their fuel usage, doing what they need to do to get into the optimal window for the pit strategy. Because that's really where everything's going to start happening when everybody pits. We're still yet to see a safety car. And you just see, so I'll explain it. Every time you see that flashing rear light, that means that the battery's either out or they're recharging the battery. So they're not really thinking about going for moves. Sector 2 yellow flag. Something has happened. I don't know where, but something has happened. It was brief, so it wasn't much. I think 2K's thinking about something here. He definitely was thinking about it. He's thought against it, evidently. D-Legend, though. Brought straight back in the mix. This little train of 5 is really nice to see. Sorry, 4. This train of 4 is really nice to see because we're going to see some moves left, right, and center if they're not careful, though. It could end in tears. Here we go. Down the back straight. Again, you see those flashing lights. That does mean that the car is recharging. Striker lining up the move. Bit of a lock up there from 2K. And around goes Legend. So that's unfortunate for him. He was really in the field there. And I think Aussie as well had a bit of a moment in the background. I think, oh, in the back. Whoa, hold on. D-Legend into the wall. What's happened there? That's unfortunate. He was having such a good race, and I think it's just come away from him. So again, these cars, I will say it, they're harder to control. They're a lot easier to have snaps with. A lot easier to lose control. So unfortunately, he's got no front wing, so that's going to really affect his race. And he was having a really good race, to be fair, so unfortunate for him. But anyway, Striker lining up a move on Sam here, and I think he's genuinely thinking about it. No lift and coast from these boys. Maggots and Beckett's. So you can see there, Sam is saving up a ton of battery where he can through Maggots and Beckett's to defend from Striker. So that's a good strategy from him. Really, really good strategy from Striker. Is Mitch Riley ever closer this time to Aussie 2K? I think 2K had a bit of a moment. And he's coming into the pit, so he must have had a little bit of damage or something's gone wrong. That's a very early pit stop for 2K. Let's see what the Red Bull team can do, though. Alarms was really close there. Hold on. I'm just looking at this little Ferrari battle here because this is somewhat looking spicy. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but it's possible. 2K into the pits. The hard tire gets put on. He gets held for a while. Everybody's coming into the pit. So I think the pit window is very much open. Either that or a bunch of people have had incidences. Striker really close on the back of Sammy. Lap 11 at 26. Got a long way to go still. I think this is going to be a main battle for P4 at the moment. Like, Almaco is very much checked out. He's in his own land. He's not really focused on anything apart from keeping that P3, which is important. Mitch Riley gets a penalty. That's not good for his race at all. That's actually very unfortunate. Probably the last thing he wanted to see when he was chasing down these two was a penalty. So he'll get a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Striker, though, on the brakes, really close there to Sam. That was really good. As across the line we go to start lap 12. And these two just kind of dragging each other along, you know, as expected. Mitch Riley comes into the pits, so I think that's to get rid of his penalty. And the team does not care. They do not care. Mercedes immediately send him out. What penalty? They say. What penalty? Who cares? Incredible. Incredible decision making from the Mercedes team. Striker just biding his time. Building it up. Yep, so Mitch Riley, unfortunately, still having that penalty to his name. It's not going to help. Aussie 2K moving up the field at the moment. I think Dan the Racer just came out of the pits. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys battle it out. But again, Striker just getting closer and closer. And you'll see that he might be changing his strategy here, I think. Because look at the amount of battery that he has compared to the likes of what he's had before. So I think this is the move on. Here we go. Striker deploys, and so does Sam. So here we go towards Cops. What is going to happen? Sorry, not Cops, Stowe. Out braking, trying to go around the outside. Is Striker. Can he do it? Down the hill we go. Who knows? Yes, he's ahead. Fantastic. Sam goes in the pits. He's done wasting his time on those medium tyres. Good defense from Sam. Well played. Good stint. And a 10-second time penalty to boot. That is extremely annoying. Sam is not going to be happy with that whatsoever. Unfortunately, it is a 60k pit limit speed, and a lot of drivers just seem to stuff that up. It does happen every now and again, but 10 seconds added to his time is not ideal in the slightest. Daniel moving up into P5, so good position at the moment for that Audi. Oh my goodness, my microphone. Having a little bit of a moment there. Phoenix again, just getting more and more penalties, man. What is going on? That guy gives up the second he has an incident. Alarms, like I said, they're just towing each other along, building that gap. We'll see which one comes into the pits. Come on, boys, make it interesting. Make it a fight at the front. Stop being boring esports players. I can guarantee they're not watching this, but you know what I mean. It's a little bit annoying to see sometimes, to be honest. But anyway, Almaco. Close on the back of the Audi. Maybe thinking about a move here. That's insane. That would have been an insane move to even consider. Into Maggots and Beckett's. Running a little bit wide there is the Audi, and the slingshot from Almaco. So he boosts on past Daniel. Daniel with nothing to deploy. Mitch is really close to Sam as well. And now these two are even because they've both got penalties. I think Sam has 10 seconds worth of penalties though, so that's going to be unfortunate for him. Mitch is going to want to dispose of Sam as quick as possible. Sam defending that place with all his might. Hold on. They've got a little battle here between the Mercedes and the V-Carb. What is going to happen? Mitch Riley with the better traction out of the final corner. Decides against deploying. Let's see if this fighting brings Aussie 2K Goat back into the frame here. That'd be very interesting to see if it brings him back into contention. big movers at the moment is Daniel. We're really good. So Mitch is gonna go for it. And he goes up the inside. Good move there on Sam to dispose of him. Just get him out of the way. So now Mitch can start fighting his way back up the field. Good defense from Sam. Well, it lasted, but unfortunately no match. Unless Sam's got something to say about it, and he might. Into Cops we go. He thought about the move. That would have been insane. So again, it's not over. Sam does have potential here to bring it back with that battery management. I think Mitch is going to be deploying all the way down this straight. I don't know if Sam's going to be trying to. As Mars gets a penalty to his name, unfortunately, the Aston Martin. That'll be annoying for him. He was doing really well. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Here we go. What's happened here? The two Ferraris going side by side into Cops. Maggots and Beckett's. So Alarms takes the net lead of this race into Cops, and that's that. I wonder if this is the pit strategy in play here for the two Ferraris, unless someone's made a mistake, but that's very unlikely. So in the pits comes Alarms. So as I predicted, they're just playing off their strategy. And, yeah, nothing really special there. Let's head on down the field, see what's really happening. Sam not really getting any closer. Mars thinking about the move potentially on the Haas here, but thinking against it. The gap between Striker and Alarms isn't really going to matter because Alarms is going to be coming out the pits as Striker hits the final corner, so it doesn't really matter in the end. As Sam and Mitch. Now, this is a battle I'm going to stay on board with because this is getting a bit spicy. They're thinking... I mean, I swear I saw someone going around the outside of Cops, which is insane. Practically bum drafting each other all the way through Maggots and Beckett's. Mitch starts deploying. Sam also, who's going to run out of battery first? Round the outside if he can do it. Good move. Solid move from Mitch to take that 5th place back, but I get a feeling that Sam has something to say, and he does. He definitely does. This is a good battle between these two. I've really been enjoying it. It's good fighting. Battery yo-yoing into turn 1. The defensive, and all of a sudden, look out, there's a rogue Williams of Striker 9 getting in the way. This is going to get very interesting as almost around goes Sam. Mitch up the inside looking for the move. This Williams has completely blocked these two. This is going to get very feisty. I can almost guarantee it. They're going to want to dispose of this Williams ASAP, but the Williams is going to have a ton of battery to work with. So Sam right on the back of Mitch. Mitch is going to have the warmer tyres. He's going to have the advantage at the moment over the Williams. And the up and under, is it going to work? Straight mode active. The Williams bolts. Sam follows. And just thought against it. I think they're just trying to play it cool, play it smart. Good battling on lap 17 of 26. So still around 9 laps to go. Mitch trying to close that gap, and it's only a matter of time before Striker figures out that he's used all his battery compared to Mitch. As Mars and Dan going side by side into Stowe. Nothing happening there. Unless I spoke too soon. Last thought about it. D-Legend in the background just getting past War Machine. Pass and repass, as we said. And to be honest, Mitch has kind of fallen back on Striker here, so I do wonder if the mediums were the play. Because, I mean, he's just bolted at this point. However, I said that a bit too early. Mitch Riley has brought himself into contention with the battery deployment, so maybe he was just using a different deployment strategy here. He's down the race up. Supersedes, gets past. Mitch, what are you going to do into Stowe? Cops. So many names to remember around this circuit. alarms with a 1:29.3. So now the pace is truly being set by the Ferraris. I'm just waiting for Mitch to build that battery. He hasn't really done it this time. Striker's actually got a lot more to work with. And Sam, well, I mean, Sam has a ton here, so that might work in his favour. But, yeah, nothing really happening. Mars passes down the orange again. And Dan the racer. Dan the orange, that's good. Dan the racer just, again, like I said, it's just pass and repass, yo-yoing, bring each other back into the fight, using the battery off each other. Sector 1 yellow flags as Mars mounts the curb. Cam gets another warning to his name. And Dan the racer just passes. Again, like I said, it's just pass and repass. Slipstream, bring each other back into contention, fight. Do everything that you'd expect from these racing drivers to figure out what gets them back into it. Mr. T, what are you doing? Interesting from Mr. T, I'm not going to lie. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. Oh, Phoenix! Hold on a minute. Something's happened to Phoenix here, so he's had a moment, and that's ended in a puncture for that V-carb, unfortunately. So take a very slow trip to the pit lane for that V-carb, unfortunately. He's just going to have to jump out the way of all these drivers as they negotiate the blue flags. Boy. Cheeky from Phoenix, but smart to get out of the way because he's not going to be able to turn, and you can see that. So yeah, unfortunate for V-carb at the moment. Yeah, the puncture's really going to affect him. It might even result in a complete disqualification, but we'll see as the yellow flags continue. And Dan the Racer comes into the pits, and so does Aussie 2K. Sorry, Aussie 2K's in the pits, not Dan the Racer. So 2K's decided, I'm done with these tyres, get him off. Don't really know what the strategy is there because it's going to drop him significantly down, but each to their own, I guess. Sector 3 yellow flags, that'll be the V-carb coming back in, I can guarantee it. So yeah, that car's going to take its time getting into the pit lane. Well done, Phoenix, for getting it back. Make sure you brake, make sure you slow down enough. That's a penalty. We expected that, unfortunately. Big lock up in the background there for War Machine. These two have been fighting a ton. And GP has somehow caught 2 seconds within the span of a lap, so I'll keep an eye on that. Sketchy work from the Ferraris. War Machine maybe thinking about a move into Maggots and Beckett's, but thinking against it. Lap 20 of 26. 6 laps to go. So yeah, as we expected, the field kind of spreading out because it's a very spread out field when you got battery management to think about. But I think next week's Grand Prix, if I can remember correctly, not exactly remembering the calendar, another lock up there for War Machine, unfortunately. Mars is catching at the speed of light here, so I'm going to stay on board with him here. Or stay with him. He's catching down the racer here, and I'm wondering if he's maybe thinking about a move down the Wellington Straight. As Boost comes into the picture. He's building him back up. That is super close. Well done, Mars, for holding it up. Making sure that it doesn't end in a crash. Down the racer, just defending that position with all he can. Boost enabled and just getting straight through if you can. Getting away from Mars. Making sure he's out of that 1 second margin. D-Legend up the inside of Cops. That's a risky move. Side by side. That's incredible. Look at this. to Maggots and Beckett's. D-Legend on Dirty Orange. That was a fantastic move. Brilliant to see. Aussie 2K just making a move there on Frizzy. Getting it done. Dirty Orange. Thinking about the move around the outside of Stowe, maybe. The defense, if he can, from the Alpine, and he can't. D-Legend gets past again. So, again, just this battery management game. As Star goes into the pits, so Daniel into the pits. That's him, I think, just trying to get rid of tyres. I don't doubt the fact that I think D-Legend is going to just try and come back from this as Daniel retires from the session. So I think that's his night over and done with. I don't know if he's married, but the wife's calling. The kids are crying. That's it. Mars really close to the back of Dan again. So these guys getting really close. I just jumped off board. Of course I did. As D-Legend jumps past Dirty. I wonder if Dirty's thinking about a move here because he's got a lot more battery to work with. Yellow flag, sector 1. I think that's literally just Daniel being retired. So Mars gets another penalty to his name. So he's not going to be happy with that. In fact, you can actively see that he's not happy with that. Boost gets active. And Dirty Orange, less battery to work with than D-Legend by the looks of it. But Dan, the racer, as Mars gets into the pits, so I'm assuming this will be to get rid of the penalties. Good little tussle here between the two drivers, the Alpine and the Williams. Sector 1 yellow flags again, so something's happened up ahead here. Driver's going to have to be careful. Could there potentially be a little bit of worry of the tyres here? If you look at that left front, it does look very worn out. Dirty Orange. Just thinking about how he's going to save up with the boost. Sam was just watch the delta go lower and lower and get closer and closer between these two. So that was very intense indeed. And maybe Sam's thinking about a move on Mitch. I'm also watching in the background Dirty Orange maybe thinking about a move in his cops, but thinks better of it. So Sam. Whoa, they're getting closer. They're thinking about fighting. Dirty Orange. Ever closer this time with plenty of battery to work with as well. So it's going to be very dependent on what D-Legend has to defend. And the answer, as they go side by side, down in towards the final chicane. Dirty Orange up the inside. D-Legend then has the defensive. They touch. Fair battling at the moment. D-Legend, Dirty Orange. What a battle this is. Oh, D-Legend getting really sideways there. Trying to get on the power as quick as possible with the battery. This is great. This is great racing between these two. It's been really, really enjoyable to watch. Really close to the rear wing. Look at the difference in deployment here. D-Legend and Dirty Orange side by side. Through the horseshoe we go. Maybe the Alpine thinking about the up and under. Straight mode active. The wings getting slammed out of the way. And both of the drivers are just thinking at the same time, just, you know, I'm going to deploy here to defend from there. So D-Legend gets a penalty, and that's not ideal at all. So now he's going to really, really fight to get past as quick as he possibly can. Because he's going to want to just get rid of Dirty Orange at this point. The battle's over. He doesn't want to be in it anymore. He's got 3 seconds of penalties to his name now. Lap 24, 26. 2 laps to go. It's not going to be enough of a time to build a gap to Dirty Orange unless he's an esports pace level driver, which we all know he isn't, unfortunately. If you're being realistic about a lot of these people, they aren't esports level, but they are fun to watch. That is for sure. As Mitch Riley, again, just thinking about a move, and D Legend as well. Maybe a move up the inside. Fought against it. Backs off. Better decision making at the moment. Good racing between these two. Really enjoying this. Deployment comes to play as they go down the Wellington Straight, and Dirty Orange concedes position. So that is that. Unless Dirty Orange has enough battery stored up, he doesn't really have to fight it with those penalties in consideration. Really don't know how Phoenix and T haven't been disqualified for the amount of penalties they've received yet, but is what it is. Much happening. GP and alarms going through Maggots and Beckons. It's just team orders activating there for the 2 Ferraris. Dirty Orange thinking about a move around the outside if he can, and just unfortunately nothing happening there. The Ferraris ever closer, so this is going to be one of the final laps. What is the final lap? It's going to be the final lap of the Grand Prix for these 2 Ferrari drivers. They've just been going swinging each other along. Now they catch in the back of the field, so they're going to be pretty damn careful. Is anything going to happen? Are they going to fight on this final lap? Are they going to be entertaining? Who knows? But Dirty Orange isn't really thinking about attacking anymore. He doesn't really have to think about it. I'm just watching that delta and making sure nothing's happening here. So GP and Alarm's getting a little bit touchy-feely with each other here on the final lap. The 2 Ferraris. I think they are battling by the looks of it. Oh, they're touching, in fact. They're getting very, very close. Can we see pens, please? Of course you can. Significant. Very significant. Is Oscar maybe going to think about a move into Cops? No, he isn't. They're just bum drafting each other all the way through. Into Maggots and Beckons we go. They're going defensive. The 2 Ferraris are finally battling here. Getting very, very feisty with each other on this final lap. Lap 26-26. Up the inside goes Alarms. And he's spun around. GP. That was cheeky. That was very cheeky indeed. The 2 Ferraris coming together. I can guarantee they're laughing at each other in the call, but who cares? That is late drama at the end of this Grand Prix. Mitch is going to be ever closer as well, but GP from the start to the finish. Gregory Prisball, the man you are, coming across the field in the Ferrari to finish the Grand Prix first. A good battle between the Ferraris, comes across the line first. Alarms is going to come home in second place after the contact with GP. Mitch Riley, this is going to be interesting. The final lap, it's not over just yet. Almaco has a very long time before he crosses the line, so I'm not too worried about that for now. As Sam, well, I mean, there's not really much he's going to be able to do. Yeah, a bit of time before everyone crosses the line. Sam's going to try and go up the inside of Mitch into Cops. Mitch is going to say, yep, okay, I'm going to let you have that. Not really much point trying to fight it, to be perfectly honest. As Almaco crosses the line for third place, so well done to him. Mitch Riley's right on the back of Sam this time. Enough battery to deploy maybe. Thinking about a late move, a final move. Maybe looking for the Mercedes driver up the inside of the V-carb, thinks against it. And honestly, decent racing across the field today. Really enjoyed those last 10 laps, to be perfectly honest. Very good, enjoyable driving. As Mitch Riley gets elected up to P5. Dirty Orange is going to be elected up to P8 with the significant amount of penalties, unless he's thinking about going side by side through the final corner. Dirty Orange up the inside. He is, and around he goes. The legend into the wall. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Outstanding. Wow. I mean, action left, right, and center. Can't deny that final lap was very exciting. As the contact from the two Ferraris, we were waiting for them to fight all Grand Prix, and then they finally started fighting, and it just ended immediately through cops, through Maggots and Beckett's apologies. So there is your top three. Gonna give it to Striker. That was really, really enjoyable to watch. But there you go, GP, Alarms, and El Maco, your top three for tonight. Williams bringing home a ton of points as well. Mercedes, unfortunately, not going to be bringing home a bunch of points. That's going to be not exactly ideal for them. Yeah, Ferrari extending their lead in the championship. McLaren, not too bad from them today as well. A good showing overall. Good racing out there. Yeah, honestly, not too bad of a Grand Prix whatsoever. I genuinely enjoyed that quite a bit. Let's head straight into the commentary box. Podium interviews, apologies. So we'll get ready for podium interviews. And yeah, honestly, decent racing. Very, very enjoyable. Very, very fun. Matty, you've joined right at the end, unfortunately. But welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Jacko, I'm assuming that's El Maco.
Yeah, it's Jacko here.
P3, mate. That was honestly pretty decent. Can't deny that. You've got to be happy with P3. The two Ferraris just absolutely bolted. Honestly, uncatchable. Talk us through your race.
Well, pretty much you summed it up. All I could really hope for was P3, knowing the pace of the two gentlemen in front. I threw out the tow rope just as last week. Last week it missed. This week it's attached, but only stayed attached for one lap. I go overtake for one lap, and that was it. And then I was alone. It was extremely lonely for like 24 laps. Maybe there was one lap there where there was a car yet to pit that I overtook. But yeah, other than that, extremely lonely.
Well, fair enough then. That was honestly pretty good to watch. The Ferraris, like we said, they just bolted. The start was pretty enjoyable. You were in contention there for a bit, and then, I mean, yeah, we mentioned it on the commentary stream. Like, it would have been a pretty lonely race, but you stuck in there. You got your P3, got your points, and that's the main thing. What's ahead?
Exactly.
Looking into Canada, what are you thinking?
Canada's always one where you want to stay penalty free and just hope things fall your way. I think P3 will be the aim again. I have to be honest, I can't aim higher knowing the competition. So, yeah, that'll be it. Try and get to talk to you every week. That's the aim.
That is indeed the aim. Well, thank you very much, Jacko. Well done today on the P3, and we'll see you next time in Canada.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Well, that seems to be the majority. I don't know if we're going to see Oscar and Gregory Prisball, but I doubt it, honestly. I very much doubt it. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. That was really, really fun. Silverstone always provides the goods. Had a little bit of a null period there in the middle, but very good. Very, very good fun. And we look towards the next race, which is going to be in Canada, which is honestly a pretty crucial one. Like Jacko was saying, you want to stay penalty free. You want to be smart on the battery, and you want, it's not exactly another battery circuit per se, but it's another circuit where battery is going to be a factor. After Canada, of course, we have the famous Netherlands. I have no idea how a race is going to go around there. I'm very excited to see that. Then we have a break week, and it's on to Monza, which is going to be battery heaven. Or hell. Actually, battery hell. Definitely hell. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for coming along tonight. It's been a pleasure commentating, and we will see you guys next time. It doesn't look like we're going to get any confirmation of interview from Gregory or Oscar, so it is what it is. But we'll see you next week at the same time, 7:30 PST for Canada. Enjoy your nights, guys. Thank you very much for coming along. See you next time. The boss